Right, so we are here with another episode of Coach's Commute, and today's a very interesting discussion. We're joined by Brooks Estrada, and I came across Brooks a post he made recently on Facebook, and it had to do with social media for athletes, and a little bit of a public service announcement and things that you should maybe watch out for, just things to keep in mind, and we'll definitely kind of get into that a little bit more, but first of all, I want to thank you for joining me here and taking a few minutes out of your day just to, talk some social media for some athletes here. But what I'd love to do is just kind of introduce yourself. What was your playing career like? Where did you play, and where you're at right now?
Okay, so well, I'm Brooks Estrada. I came out of high school and I went directly to junior college, played 2 years of junior college at a school, Lake Sumter State College, which is here in Central Florida. And then I played my 2 years there and definitely wanted to expand and play my last 2 years of eligibility. So then I transferred from there to a D2 school in South Carolina called Coker College, and graduated in 2018, in May of 2018, and now I'm here. Now I'm here
Yeah.
working.
All right. Right on. Awesome. So let's get into it a little bit. So your Facebook post there had to do with social media, and just kind of warning some of the families, whether it's an athlete or a parent athlete, or sorry, a parent of an athlete, maybe a coach. As you went through school, whether it's high school and into university, college, how prevalent was social media for everyone on your team?
Well, actually, it was interesting because when I was coming up through high school, I think when I was a freshman or so, that's when Instagram kind of started, and that's
Yeah.
when
Okay.
everyone kind of started to add it, and it started to pick up and get really popular. So at first, it started off kind of small when everyone started to use it, but then it was as I grew up and to now, to see where it is now, it's ridiculously popular, and everyone that I know and every teammate that I've had has gone from not having one to now having their own presence and using it. And the same thing with Twitter and Facebook and everything. You've just seen a crazy growth, and now you see kids that are younger that are using it as well. So I would say everyone pretty much has it. It's uncommon not to have it now.
Yeah, way more, uncommon. Hey, what's your Facebook or what's your Instagram? Like, oh, I don't use that. And it's like, oh,
Yeah,
take a step back, right?
exactly.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's interesting to see, if you're on Instagram, there's a lot of like 8 and 10-year-olds who have their accounts. I'm a parent, so I have young kids. What I do like to see is, when they're like mom or dad run, right, and they're managed by their parents. I think that's,
Mhm.
important. And I think it is important to start if you are looking to build a brand or build up your profile for recruiting or anything, to have this big long track record of you coming up. But having parents manage these accounts, I think, is definitely important with all of the dangers or issues with social media,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
But I don't want to harp on social media too much, and we'll kind of talk about some pros and cons, I think, here. Uh, so it just kind of started as you were in high school. Was anyone using social media to help with the recruiting process when you were in high school?
You did see, I mean, it really, like I said, it didn't start to get big until it grew on until about like my senior year.
Okay. Yeah.
But you did see people that would they would post videos of them, hitting home runs or hitting doubles or different pictures and things like that. And also, the NCAA didn't really catch on with the social media wave until it started getting more popular, and they had to start making rules and regulations about if coaches could follow you or see your content and things like that. So there were some people that posted videos, but I don't know if it had a direct correlation to recruiting
Okay.
because it didn't really, I don't think it really existed at that point. It was more to just like show off, or to just show people, that you hit home
Yeah.
runs and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But now
Um,
it's definitely more common to, because who's going to see it and have their eye on it.
yeah. So now, are there, what are the rules that maybe you know of, or I mean, I'm sure they're being updated on probably a yearly basis. But right now, if I'm looking to be recruited, I'm finishing up high school or somewhere in the middle, doesn't matter where. Um, are these athletes able to start reaching out to coaches through social media or recruiters or anything like that yet?
As far as I know, I don't know if they're allowed to reach out to coaches. Honestly, I don't know if they're
Okay.
allowed to do that. I'm sure it's been done before.
Sure, sure.
There's definitely rules on when coaches can contact you
Yeah.
as a player, and I do know that it's legal for them. They won't get in trouble for following you or for liking like a video or a
Yeah.
post. But as far as you reaching out to them, I don't know if they can directly respond back. You
Yeah, I
probably
mean, if
can
they have a
send them a
window that
message.
they can't talk to you yet, yeah, for sure,
Right.
for sure. But I think it's, it's important, especially if that is the intention to, you're just building a brand and visibility, right? And it's
Mhm.
all about getting in front of, the right, recruiters or the right coaches. And, unless you're being heavily recruited, you got to get out there and do the work and, meet new people. And, you know, I think it's important that you build that awareness so that when the time comes when they're allowed to start talking to you, you're maybe already on their radar, right?
Mhm.
Because
Yeah,
I can
absolutely.
imagine these coaches are watching social media, right?
Yeah,
And you're on
absolutely.
it, like you said, everyone's on it already. So why
Right.
not take advantage of potential new recruits that way?
And for the most part, that's their first impression of you because they're not allowed to contact you and have conversations with you directly.
Yeah,
So that's their first choice. It's free. It's legal. You can see what they're posting, kind of what their personality's like, and kind of who they are without having to contact you. So it's basically your first impression
yeah.
initially.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, I think we can kind of you both agree here that it can play a very positive role in the
Mhm.
recruitment process. If you are looking to play, college baseball there, or any sport really. But what I want to now touch on here is a little bit about what you were talking about is some of the not dangers in terms of physical safety or anything like that, but what have you seen or what did you see at your school that may negatively affect that recruitment process?
Yeah, well, sadly, there's, like I said, when I grew up and all of this was growing, mistakes were kind of made all along the way.
Of course, yeah.
Not only by like people that I played with, but by myself. I've been victim of certain things too that I wish I could take back. But
Yeah.
there's there's a lot of examples of things that that would be considered red flags to coaches if they were to scroll through and see. And some of it might seem obvious, and a lot of these things you're not going to see in younger players. It's more when you get older in high school, college, where the influences start to come through, like the alcohol and things like that.
Yeah.
But just to go down a little list, I would say having beer in pictures, having beer cans, bottles, anything. A big one that people don't really realize is red Solo cups. And you have a red
Sure.
Solo cup in a picture. It could be water, it could be soda, but
Sure,
for the
yeah.
most part, coaches will see that and they'll automatically think that um, that there's beer in it or alcohol in it or something like
Yeah,
that. So
I mean, you touched on that earlier. It's first impressions, right? And
right.
if that's their first impression, doesn't matter what's in it, they are going to assume that, and so they may, already pass you up right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would also say one that's been seen is t-shirts with beer logos. Like if you got a Bud Light or a Coors Light
Okay, yeah,
picture, that's something that's overlooked too. But I've had coaches tell me that they've not looked at guys just because of what they're wearing, or hats, things like that. It's kind of
yeah,
something that's overlooked and you wouldn't think of. But if you're wearing a shirt with it, they assume that you like it or that's one of your things. It's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like it's unfair, but that's how it
That's the
is.
world. That's the world we live in right now,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
they're going to make any assumption, based off just a picture.
Hmm.
So I would say that. I would say any gestures, like don't be throwing up middle fingers or anything
No,
like that.
yeah,
Seen that. Don't do that. As far as like captions, swear words, cussing, and um, cussing, that's a big one. Obviously, nothing crazy. You don't want to be posting, like, if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, you don't want to post a video of you jumping through a table at a tailgate or anything like that. Um, so it seems obvious, like when you think about it, just don't put anything crazy out there. But really, when it comes down to it, people still make those mistakes and it costs them. And I've seen it cost them as
yeah,
well.
Yeah. Now, is this exclusive to say athletes, or have you seen someone surrounded by that athlete? Maybe it's a coach or a parent. Are they making mistakes that could potentially affect that player as well?
A coach or a
Maybe a
parent?
coach's job or something as well.
A coach? Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've seen. This is kind of an off-topic example, but I did have a coach that almost got fired due to a social media. I don't even know if it still exists anymore, but it was an app where you can post anonymously in
Oh,
a
okay. Yep.
location, and it probably doesn't exist because there's so much bullying and things that went on with it. But you could also, when you posted, you can put the name, you could put your name, or you could put someone else's name to make it look like they said something. And they had what was it? It was someone made a comment about a female volleyball player, and they put our head coach's name on top of it to make it look like it was a joke, like he was saying it, like, it's funny your coach said
Yeah.
something about a volleyball player. And it came full circle, and the girl's dad found out and
Wow.
called the school and almost got him fired because it looked like he said something about his daughter.
Yikes. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like the coach, obviously our team got reamed for that one, but
Mhm.
that wasn't his fault directly, but it can affect everyone for sure. That's really the only example I've seen of a coach
Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
feeling the effect of it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No. Well, any parent issues or older siblings or something, like if you're in those videos. I mean, I'm sure it could happen, but I think it's something else that that athlete may want to be aware of is if you're posing with an older brother or older sibling who's
Mm-hmm.
drinking, and that could be completely legal and whatever. But if you just happen to be in the same backyard, in the house, or anything like that,
But yeah,
all these.
it's true that you can definitely, that can affect you as well, especially on Instagram.
Mhm.
When you get tagged in something, that can be seen on your profile as
Yeah,
well, like
yeah,
what you've been tagged in. So definitely, it all comes down to being aware of what pictures are you're being posted in, and who you're with. If you're posing with someone who's got a beer, just being brave enough, or being aware enough to say, hey man, can you, if you're going to post this, can you put the beer over here or something,
hmm
out of the picture, just to make sure, or ask them if they're going to post it and decide if you want to be in it. I would say that's really important for sure.
yeah, yeah. And I think we're talking friends, family, close people. If you're on social media, there, they should be respecting that your goals, right? And
Hmm.
if you're looking to do something down the road, and any little picture like this can negatively affect that, say, hey, please don't tag me in that, or anything like that, or oh, I'm gonna jump out of this picture. This doesn't quite look right for me, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of, situations where, what's in that picture, could definitely, negatively affect, your future there. Something else that kind of, came to mind, and it may not be something you've had experience with yet. I think it's probably more for some of these, younger kids coming up, but I wanted to, talk about it a little bit, is the idea of, building like a personal brand, and then having a company reach out and offer free clothes, some money for posts, all these influencer marketing here, especially on Instagram, a little bit
Hmm.
more prevalent. Is that something that would negatively, or I mean that could affect your eligibility as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many rules with the
Yeah.
NCAA about getting money for certain things. So that's kind of a gray area actually,
Mhm.
because if it's a brand that's not even related to baseball and you're getting money for it, I don't know how that would be effective. But that's
Yeah.
certainly something that's growing
hmm
for sure. A lot of more companies are reaching out to kids and people that are on Instagram more than ever. So because it's a huge market for them, obviously. So
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
um,
more and more companies are shifting their marketing dollars towards influencer marketing, and I think even as a parent, maybe not even being aware that there are some of these eligibility rules. So if we can kind of just put this out as a blanket statement that if there's any benefit that your athlete or your child there may be receiving, you know double check, right? I'm
Mhm.
sure there's, the appropriate emails or calls or people you can reach out to just to, check on that, like you said, because there are gray areas. I'm sure, again, things are being reviewed
Mhm.
probably every year, especially with just the changing landscape of social media,
Right.
being updated.
But I mean, you wouldn't want to sacrifice their personal brand or their success just because you're afraid that they won't get recruited. So, I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely something that would be worth checking on and making sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, if we have, like these kids, 8, 10, 12, everyone's, jumping in on, Instagram, Snapchat, all these things earlier. What would be your best advice for someone who is, who's shown some promise, who, everyone at, 10 and 12 wants to go play, D1 college baseball and
Mhm.
everything, right? That's the ultimate goal. And, few get there, but there's D2, D3, NAIA, junior college, all these different options.
Mhm.
Um, but if we're looking to try and build up, a bit of a profile and a brand, do you have any advice for them to do that the right way, so that as some higher level coaches start seeing them, we can kind of go about this the right way and not run into any trouble?
Mhm. Well, I would say the main thing for me would just to be authentic with it
Mhm.
and make sure like it's you and it's who you are. Like if you're not a positive person or you don't have a good attitude about baseball, don't always be posting positive posts, because it's gonna, especially the people that know you are just gonna, people will see through it, and a lot of people know who you are. And I think sometimes a lot of people try to fill up their pages with all these things that aren't authentic to them, and then they get recruited and they go to a school and the coaches get to know you and they're like, that's not you.
That's not you. Yeah.
That wasn't you. So I think it's definitely a big deal to keep that authenticity about you. And if people like that, then they'll follow you and they'll like you. And if you're friends with them, they'll appreciate that. So I would say that's probably the biggest thing for me, is just to be authentic, and just like we've said, to be aware of what you're saying, and what you're posting and what you're being a part of or being posted in.
For sure. Yeah, I think that's right. And, that may even, come up probably even earlier on, like recruiting trips or, however the recruiting process looks like, if there's a phone call or something. And, if that coach gets that a little bit of a different vibe from what you start posting, then again,
Right.
are red flags going off? Hey, this player seems a little bit, I don't want to say fake, but not who they're portraying. If there are lots of recruits that they're looking at, are you getting, tossed aside, almost unfairly just because you wanted to build up an Instagram profile, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So, kind of, final words here. What's the number one thing, right? That if I'm a parent, what should I be watching out for my kids? Maybe like your number one mistake that you've seen people make. And you may have already touched on it or anything, but what's that number one thing that parents should be watching out for their kids posting?
Um, like I said, it's mainly found in pictures and captions and things like that. Just knowing those things to watch out for and to keep an eye on it. Don't be afraid to keep an eye on it and keep checking on it. And if they do see something that's a red flag, be able to talk about it with their kid and
Yeah.
discuss it, and try to have them change it or take it off. Because like I think I said in the post, like there's only so many opportunities out there to play college baseball. And I know for me personally, it was the best experience I've had in my life so far. And I wouldn't want to do anything to jeopardize my experiences that I had and the people that I met and everything like that. So I would say just to be careful. And they're lucky that they're in an age right now where they can learn this now. Like
Hmm.
with me, when we were growing up with it, like I said, mistakes were made all along the way. But now they have the luxury of knowing, like, don't don't post certain things or it could hurt you. Like, if you're a baseball player and you're serious about it, you do want to play at the next level, and you do want to play professionally. And as you keep going up through that level, it gets more serious as you get more fans. Like if you think of Mike Trout, if Mike Trout put up a picture of him crushing beers with his friends, the backlash that would get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's only something that gets bigger as you get older, and as you get to those next levels, it just becomes um, becomes much bigger.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
just keep an eye on it and just make sure they're doing the right things.
Sure, yeah, and I think you touched on it there. Having a conversation with that athlete, right? And whether
Mhm.
it's reaching out to the university or college just to get some quick quotes from a player to say how great playing in college was, and kind of get that athlete kind of hyped up about playing, and then tying that back to say, hey, everyone here we've talked to, or maybe you take them to a game and introduce them to some players if that's possible. Um, but just kind of showing them what a great experience that can be, and how one little post or one caption or anything can ruin that. So just kind of keeping them aware of the potential setbacks that they can have. And I'm sure as a parent that's not going to be a single conversation, right? It's probably going to need to be
Right.
brought up monthly, weekly, whatever that looks like with the
Right.
right.
Absolutely.
No one ever listens to their parents on the first go, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think for the parents out there, from my perspective, I'm probably going to have that conversation multiple times and just say, hey, listen, everything can be fun, but you can have a lot more fun for 4 years, or
Hmm.
even and beyond, if we just kind of just be careful and monitor what's going on.
Yeah, I think too it would be important because you know how kids can be stubborn, and I know I was, especially too, when I was coming up through high school and stuff. Like your dad will say something and you'll ignore it, and then someone else, a coach, will say it and you'll listen to it.
Yeah.
And so if you're not getting the message across, reaching out to another player or someone that your son or daughter looks up to, or a coach, and then just say, hey, would you tell him or her that their posts are, just so they can get another perspective on it. And maybe that'll help it click if they are stubborn and they have a hard time listening.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really great advice. You're totally right. Mom and dad say something over and over, and it goes in one ear out the other. But coach or an older player, someone that they might idolize a little bit, says that exact same thing, could be word for word. And like, oh, okay, now I got it. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. So yeah, I think, overall, the message here, and, correct me if I'm wrong, but, I think social media can be, very powerful and good, for players, whether it's just, interacting with friends and, that circle online. It can be a great tool for recruiting or building
Mhm.
skills, reaching out to different coaches online. Not everyone has access to, the best coaching in their immediate area. Maybe you're just in the backyard hitting off a tee, and we want to start to reach out to some coaches, and I'm sure
Mhm.
like five would jump on a post right away if you posted for looking for tips.
Yeah.
So it can be very beneficial, very powerful, and help you along the way. But obviously, we talked about some of those things to watch out for, and making sure that social media doesn't ruin your playing career.
Right. Yeah,
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, I'll kind of let you get back to your day there, and just want to thank you for your taking a few minutes here chatting with me, and really just kind of opening up, hopefully some eyes, some different people to the potential drawbacks of social media, and what we should be careful for. So, keep posting that message, keep
Mhm.
talking about it. We'll keep sharing it, but I think it's really important what you're trying to get across.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you very much.